Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for your weekly roundup of all the sporting events of the week. And I apologize because that has been a lie for God knows how long. We have not been doing this weekly, but we are here to wrap up the group stages of the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? Outside where it ain't safe, lateness is greatness. Let's get stuck into it. Do you know what I'm saying? Just like them challenges in the World Cup, some of them have been dirty, absolutely filth. In that Ecuador-Qatar game to kick us off, my Lord Jesus, you man were going two-footed, you know what I'm saying, reckless. I'm surprised man them have not been sent off. Let's get straight into it because I'm starting with Group A and the Dutch, Holland, the Iron Robbins, the Van Persies, the Schneiders, the Van der Vaarts, the Van Dijks and the De Lits now. But unfortunately, they have been carried. It's been a carry job from Gakpo. Absolute carry job. He was one of the players that we had on our one to watch list and he has been delivering like a postman, do you know what I'm saying, with Tourex. This man has been fucking brilliant. He has just been knocking it out of the park, constantly carrying his team, scoring goals, either foot, with his head, doesn't matter. They've not been brilliant. I've been watching them. They haven't been brilliant. They're not oozing sauce, do you know what I'm saying? They're not dominating. They're not showing us that Dutch way. The Koemans and the Van Bastens, they're not giving us that flair. They're not giving us that Edgar Davids life. They're not. The shades aren't on. It's not cool. But what it is, unless it's the air conditioner, but it ain't good enough. But Gakpo is saving them. He's dragging them, like I said. Now, will it last? Will it last? Or will they be found out? We'll have to see in the knockouts. But at the moment, do you know what I'm saying? They've qualified. They've made their move. And you have to just give it to Gakpo. The guy is a young star, doing it for PSV statistically, showing what he's capable of. And he's delivering. And do you know what? Every now and then, De Jong is giving us a lovely pass. Just every now and then. Just a little seasoning on top of the chicken. Do you know what I'm saying? Also, Senegal have qualified from that group. Ecuador and Qatar miss out. Senegal, I watched their first game. Mendy, Koulibaly. Listen, it was a mess mainly from Mendy, but Koulibaly did start to step it up in the tournament as it went on. Good to see because we need that form at Chelsea to return. Do you know what I'm saying? The group, Ecuador, sometimes they turn up, sometimes they don't. Do you know what I mean? It's mad that they didn't get out of the group in the end because Enner Valencia was, again, single-handedly trying to drag his team out of the group. This man was chasing the golden boot. He was that effective. Do you know what I'm saying? That decisive, that incisive, that destructive. But, unfortunately, the rest of his team, unless it's, Cancelo from Brighton and a couple other men, but not really enough in the end to get through the group. But Senegal, listen, you're leading the line for Africa. You're waving that flag. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially after what happened. I'm not even going to talk about it right yet. We're not there yet. But just remember, you need to step it up. There's no Sadio. There's no Mane. So I'm not going to lie, I'm not expecting them to go too far without Mane, but it's nice to see that they got out of the group. Well done to you lot. Do you know what I mean? Let's go into Group B because that's where England is. That's where England sit. It's where England, sit, settle, decide, contemplate whether they're going to play good football or dire football. It depends what half you watch. I picked the US-England game to watch. Lord and behold, no goals. But then, first half Wales, no goals. I watched that. I turned the TV off. I said, you know what? These lot have already qualified. Let me move on with my life. 3 goals! You cheats, liars, bastards, actors, whatever you want to call it. I am just over it. This team only want to deliver when my TV screen is off. It's ridiculous. But they have managed to get themselves out of the group with 7 points out of a possible 9. England couldn't get it done over the US. They had a pretty, straightforward group to qualify from. Wales, so disappointing. But maybe you would have already known that Wales weren't going to do their thing. I'm a little bit surprised that they were this poor. But again, they're like a baby Belgium. They're like a baby brother to Belgium. They got a lot of old-timers that did well for them in the past, got them to the semi-finals of the Euros, etc. and Ramsey and Bale. But now the walking sticks are out. The trips to the MLS are here. And these lot are finished. They are absolutely finished. They have nothing left to offer to the nation. You know what I'm saying? It's done. It's a wrap. Yeah? It's an absolute wrap. Finished. Iran, again, disappointing, but did we really expect them to qualify? They made it competitive at least with the 3 points, but US, for me, they had the quality, and they should have actually beat Wales in the first game. They drew with England, and then, do you know what I mean, it's job done, but they should have beaten Wales. They dominated the first half, bopped it around quite nicely, and then unfortunately, they didn't capitalise. We've got nice players, you know what I'm saying? Aronson, Pulisic, do you know what I mean? Hopefully he's well and rested because he's going to be needed for the knockouts. But you've got some ballers in there, Weah, very impressed with him. McKennie, there's some good players in there. It's not so bad. And when are we going to see Reina? We're going to see a little bit more. Listen, it's not something there. They're cooking something. Don't call it soccer because, listen, it will never be. And don't dare think that just because you qualified you can call it that, because you still finished second to the England, do you know what I'm saying? But football, you're doing all right at it. Well done. As for England, Rashford, whether it's him, Foden, anyone scoring them goals at the moment, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. We'll see how it gets when the teams get serious. We know how England usually roll out. They're doing all right. Not going to overly criticise, do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they haven't faced any stiff competition yet, so we'll see. The US game was the hardest game they faced, and it was a dire 0-0. Maybe they were playing for a draw. Who knows? Do you know what I'm saying? Let's move on to C. Let's move on to Group C. I'm checking my nerd notes as I speak. Argentina. 36 games unbeaten. Argentina. You guys, you topped the group with 6 points. You ain't been the ones. Unless it's a little bit of Messi magic or something from Enzo. It's not slapping. It's not. Something's not right. You're not talking like with your chest. You're not talking with confidence. You're not talking like as if you're going to win this competition. You're not moving like it either. Do you know what I mean? 36 unbeaten coming in. Everybody was gassing them up. All the smoke. Do you know what I'm saying? All the smoke. Gassing people out, bro. It was wild. Do you know what I'm saying? We had Romeo. We had Butcher. Everybody's in. This is the Argentina team that are going to win the World Cup for Messi. They are dying for Messi. De Paul is dying for Messi. De Paul is dying on that football pitch. De Paul needs to be coming off that football pitch. He's had a atrocious, World Cup. Monstrous World Cup. I don't know what's going on with him. Wild. But Enzo Fernandez has at least been stepping up. Do you know what I'm saying? There has been some shining lights, but it's not been impressive. And I'm hoping that as the tournament goes on, they're going to get better and better. But I'm not really impressed with Argentina. Large spells of games, they're not playing well. And then there's a moment. And then there's another moment, whether it be Alvarez, like I said, or a Messi or someone. Someone's popping up with a beautiful, beautiful goal. But you guys, we're watching you. You're frauds at the moment. You know what I'm saying? It's fraudulent behavior. It's not looking too good. The shock of the tournament, the game of the tournament for me, Saudi Arabia beating Argentina. The first match, the one that kind of made this World Cup what it was, made this World Cup, everybody sat up and paid attention. That game right there, you're part of that. So you have to hold the L. But that was the game that made me fall in love with one of the teams in this group who didn't qualify, which was Saudi, who ended the group with 3 points. How'd you go beat Argentina in your first game and then don't pick up any more points from that point onwards? I'm disappointed, but I'm proud because I didn't have a horse in this race. But now I do. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's Saudi. Because the way they played, woo! They were, even in the other games, they deserve to win. They deserve to pick up more points. But unfortunately, they can't finish for shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Some of the games, they were just shooting like as if they had, you know what I'm saying, some sort of fever. Every single time they shot, they sneezed. It was wild. They were just hitting row Zs, Ys and Xs, hitting anybody but the goalkeeper and the goal. Not getting nothing on target. It's disappointing. For me, they should have picked up minimum enough points to qualify, considering it was 4 points in the end. It would have taken points off those teams. Saudi could have qualified. They could have qualified. Poland and Mexico joined on 4 points. It went down to the wire on the last day. It was one of the most dramatic things I've ever seen. Like, these games being played at the same time is beautiful. These last group games being played at the same time is just masterstroke, because people are fighting for their lives. Telephones are being rung. You know what I'm saying? Je m'appelle Métis, time is running out, we need to score goals. You know what I'm saying? It's just incredible. Now teams are starting to react to others. They're realizing suddenly that they need a goal, or they're losing on disciplinary. Don't get another yellow card, otherwise it's going to be a long day. Sometimes now people are starting to back out of challenges because, bruh, it was getting this close in this group. It was going down to yellow cards up until another goal went in. And fair play to Saudi, because even though they couldn't really get through, they still kept pushing and causing problems. But wow, it's sad for the Mexicans, man, because they're lovely people. They supporting their team like wild in the World Cup, and they just couldn't quite get it done, man. Imagine one goal. That's all bro. It's wild, bro. It was so close. And Poland, listen, at large part, she didn't impress me so far in this tournament. Lewandowski, though, at least has his first World Cup goal, so there's something there. But again, I was rocking with the Saudis. I was hoping they would qualify, because they were balling out for periods, man. It's a sad day. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a sad day for the Saudis. Group D, France, for me, the most impressive team in the tournament so far. I know they actually only have 6 points, not 7, compared to their counterparts, but they rested an absolute truck ton in the Tunisia game, to the point where it was unrecognisable. They had Guendouzi playing left back. They had Camavinga playing right wing. It was all over the shop. And Saliba still couldn't get a game, by the way, which was nuts. But that Tunisia game, I write off. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like a bad loan. Do you know what I'm saying? You ain't going to pay that back. Let's just write it off, man. It don't really mean nothing. We move on. You got a low credit score now, but you know what I mean? Don't worry. You can bounce back. That's France. It's not good. It's not good reading. But when we look back on it, it won't really mean much. They still top the group, and they are the holders. And even though with the injuries to Pogba, to Kante, to Benzema, to Nkunku, they're still balling out. Mbappe's still doing back heels. Rabiot's mum is no longer involved in the picture because her son is balling out and scoring goals as well. You know, Dembele is going both ways on the flank, causing issues. Giroud is about to be the leading top scorer. I have it. It's going to be happening. I have it in my notes. Hindsight, it's happening. He's going to be the all-time leading France goal scorer in this tournament. He's going to break it. He's already joined. He just needs one more goal. It's happening. And then Mbappe will eclipse him in about 5 years, 6 years time, the way he's moving as well. It's just been wonderful. Upamecano, don't even really rate him like mad because he's a bit rash for me, but his ball playing ability is just mwah. It is incredible. It is exceptional. It is insane. The guy is just balling out. Theo Hernandez, hold tight for Lucas, but Theo, baller, down the left hand side causing mad problems. The guy is just oozing class, do you know what I mean? Every single time he touches the ball, he's causing problems down that side, creating chances. Him and Mbappe down that side is a dream. It's just wonderful. Truman, he's doing his thing. It's wonderful. I'm not going to lie, people slept on France because they're holders and we thought holders tax, they're going to definitely lose or they're going to even get knocked out or something. We saw in the Euros the problems behind the scenes, but it's not been them that's had problems behind the scenes. It's been someone else. But we're going to get into that in a minute. France are my big six, you know, in the sweepstakes and big six. And I'm not going to lie, if they can win it, whew, beautiful. Do you know what I'm saying? Back to back. If Mbappe goes back to back and takes it off the GOATs and takes it off Neymar, I'm not saying, listen, conversations will have to be had. Australia are through as well. I don't know why everybody's hating on the Aussies. I'm seeing on bare streams people are like, oh, we don't really like the Australian team, or I don't know what the hate is. It wasn't the most glamorous group in the world. Denmark, you should have swapped out your Scandinavian cousins and brought in Norway, because I would have much rather watched Odegaard and Hairline and all these lot, because you lot were piss poor, disappointing, lackluster. Just a disgrace. I'm not going to lie, you did your best Turkey impression from the Euro 2020. Very, very disappointed in you lot. Shocked, actually. Tunisia, I didn't really know you man too well anyway, so I didn't expect too much. Australia, big up you man. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to give you credit where it's due. I don't know your players like I used to, like the Scott McDonalds, the Harry Kewells, do you know what I'm saying? The Emersons, do you know what I mean? The Vidukas. But it is what it is. You did your thing. No Tim Cahill, no problem. Do you know what I mean? Well done to you lot. Let's move over to the more notes. Group H, Portugal. 6 points. I'm not going to lie. I was offended when Leao wasn't started. When I was saying, why is Leao not starting? He comes off the bench, he scores in his first game. But then when I watched his other two cameos off the bench, I thought to myself, wow, this Rafael Leao guy, I'm starting to understand why he's on the bench. And everybody's giving Santos a lot of stick because he's not the greatest manager and they don't rate him that highly. Fair enough. But Leao off the bench has been so frustrated, especially as a Chelsea fan when he's our target. The man is not releasing the ball. He's hogging the ball. He's trying to do too much. He's taking shots from stupid angles. Just calm down. Calm down, bro. You're an impact sub. You're here to liven things up, cause havoc, and go home. You don't need to be that chaotic though. You're coming onto the pitch and acting reckless. There's no culture to your game. There's no calmness, no composure. It's just absolutely chaos. It's mad. It's carnage. It's not necessary. Relax on the ball, Leao. Ronaldo, obviously, you know, he's got a couple goals to his name. Bruno Fernandes, though, for Portugal has been their star of the tournament so far. They've got a very balanced team. You know, Bruno Fernandes is putting the ball in the back of the net. I think he's got 4 out of the last 5 in terms of goal involvements for the Portuguese team. 4 out of their last 5 goals have directly come from him in some capacity. They've got balance. They've got Pepe balling out at 39, nearly 40. Do you know what I'm saying? Diaz, the fullbacks, keep Cancelo at left back. Stop moving him. I don't want to say Cancelo at right back again. It looks weird. I know he's right-footed, but he made it look weird because he wanted to be this fancy, you know, inverted left back. Well, then you better stay over there, big man, because let Dalot do his thing on the right. He's been doing well. I know they picked up an injury, unfortunately, to Mendes. That's unfortunate because he's a baller as well. He's playing really well, which is why Cancelo was out on the right in the first place. But it is what it is. Carvalho, sticking out like a sore thumb, I'm not going to lie to you. Now, South Korea have also qualified. Uruguay and Ghana. Oh my goodness. Well, let me just say something. Uruguay, dark horse. Dark horse. What are you, Lloyd's TSB? You lot have been stinky. You have not really done much. And then you tried to turn up in the last game like a couple of other frauds have done, which I'm going to get to in a minute. And it didn't pan out for you. And you beat Ghana. And Ghana, you man disgraced yourselves. This time you actually deserve to lose. And this whole Suarez thing, I'm not going to lie to you, he's not a nice character, he's not a nice person, clearly, with all the little, heinous acts that he's been involved with, that's biting people, racism against Patrice Evra and all these things. However, he's right. It's your fault. You missed the penalty, Asamoah Gyan, and then God gives you another opportunity. God comes down from above and he says, you know what? I'm going to right the wrongs of what happened in 2010, even though you were the lot that you guys missed the penalty. Don't forget that. You blazed it over the bar, Asamoah Gyan. We're going to give you another penalty. What do you do? What do you do, Ayew? You pass it back to the goalkeeper. The softest, most incompetent clown penalty I've ever seen. No power, no conviction, no meaning, no authenticity, no imagination, no evaporation. The ball did not lift off the ground. It stayed on the floor. Gravity is too strong for you. Both the Ayew brothers stank up the place, giving the ball away for the second goal as well, Jordan. Not good enough. And the individual errors at the back. Amate, you can hold that for the FA Cup final when you threw my club crest on the floor at Wembley. Hold that. Yeah? You can hold that, you disrespectful bastard. You can hold that. You're disrespectful and you confirm that L with the rest of your team. You were awful in that game against Uruguay. Suarez decided to turn up. That guy was nutmegging people, doing all sorts. But unfortunately, his stinky cameo earlier on, Cavani not doing anything earlier on, is why they were in this situation in the first place. They're old, they're rusty, and you know what I'm saying? It weren't working out. Nunez, he's a chaotic player. Same old, nothing changes. Valverde, Bentancur was actually decent in this tournament for one of the games. But again, it's not enough. Uruguay going home with Ghana and South Korea, fair play. South Korea, Japan, and Australia all through. That is nuts for the oceanic side of the world. What an accomplishment. Son finally stood up. He's been having a poor season, but when he needed to play that final pass, when he needed to put that ball in between the defenders, he did so. And he found a beautiful ball in that last game, and bang, it was a goal. I don't think he's been impressive this tournament, you know what I mean? More time I've been seeing his armband slip down and he's been like distracted. But fix that twitch in your arm and fix up, because you're into the knockouts, you know what I'm saying? Well done to you. For me, like I said, the best game, Saudi, Argentina. Japan, I have to give as the best team. I'm going to finish up with them. And best goal for Richarlison. Japan, the way that they came out of that group with Spain and Germany, you have to give them their dues. You have to hand over their flowers personally. You don't send them in the post. You don't send them in the mail. You have to go to their door, knock on that door, that clean, crisp, respectful Japanese door, and you give them their flowers in person. Because to come out of that group with Spain and Germany, beat Spain when it mattered most. They actually lost to Costa Rica. I couldn't believe it. Again, I thought they were doing in Saudi Arabia. You won the tough game, the beginning. What a match, by the way. They bopped Germany. Do you know what I mean? Germany did do their thing. And Musiala, you're the only one that's excluded from that Germany team. You're going to get your flowers too. You were brilliant in this tournament. But the rest of your team, unfortunately, didn't do their thing. But for Japan, they actually did really well in that Germany game. When they sat in, they wanted to sit in. They want to go down. Then they said, you know what? We're actually going to come out and play. And when they choose to play this Japan team, they can bop it. And the way that they scored them goals on the break, just wonderful. Some of the finishes, emphatic, past the Neuer like that. And then Spain, like I said as well, when they have to do it against the big boys, they're doing it, they're punishing. And you have to put it down. Costa Rica, you man are just troublesome, do you know what I'm saying? There was no need for you to take a point, no need for you to take 3 points off of Japan like that. Unnecessary, you didn't qualify. But I respect the fact that you tried to make it chaotic. And at one point, Costa Rica and Japan were going through it at the same time, because Costa Rica were beating Germany. And I swear to God, if that had stayed the same, football heritage, it would have been historic. It would have been, some people would say haram. Do you know what I'm saying? It would have been wild. Like, that's just madness. No one expects that. But, hey, we're here. Big up your damn selves. Make sure you smash up the likes. Let's get into the knockouts now. We're finally getting to the serious stuff now, where there's no teams on the side trying to, stir up the pot, trying to sit and play this chess game, trying to park it, trying to pause it. No. You go out there, it's a knockout game now, and you play to your heart's content, because if you don't, you're going home. Do you know what I'm saying? And so am I. Big up your damn selves. Well, I guess I have no choice to wrap it up. In a bit, people. Peace. You see, this is why I haven't done videos in over a week. I literally forgot a group. And we may as well wrap up the Brazil game because it's beyond full time. How can I forget my beloved Belgium in the sweepstake for DR? I have France for Big Six, I have Belgium for DR. And of course, just like I said, little brother Wales, this team is finished. This team is finished. And all of the anarchy and arguments and animosity that I was expecting in the France team, because, you know, they're just obsessed with drama, keeping up with the French team and whatnot. They had it for the Belgium team. Kevin De Bruyne, you know, Vertonghen, Hazard, you know, and Lord and behold, they did not deserve to come out of the group, and out they went. Out they went. They were bossed against Morocco. They were fortunate against Canada. In another game, they didn't play well. A little mention for Jonathan David. Very disappointed in you. I don't know what the hype's about. You didn't do anything at this World Cup. He's one of my big disappointments in this World Cup group stage. And like I said, then last game, they tried to turn it on. They tried to turn it up, and it didn't work out. Just like many other teams, like Uruguay, tried to do so. Tried to turn it up when it was too little, too late. Poor, just horrendous Belgium, honestly. That team is over the edge, over the hill, and it's time to, you know, do a whole new squad. And then Roberto Martinez is, of course, leaving. It's time to flush out the old players and bring in the fresh faces. I don't agree with the De Bruyne quote. You know, Modric, also in that group, 37 years old, aging like fine wine. Giroud, I've already mentioned. Just because you're older doesn't mean you can't compete. Do you know what I'm saying? That is an aging player in the midfield three with Brozovic and Kovar, but he was brilliant in this group stage. And of course, Morocco, I've got to give a big shout for Morocco right now, because Ziyech, Boufal getting involved as well, Mazraoui, Hakimi, just fantastic performances from Morocco. They topped the group. Fair play to them. I thought they would actually get out the group. I actually had Croatia to come out, but Belgium, I completely forgot. You man are incapable, incompetent, incapable. Golden generation wasted. Do you know what I'm saying? Roberto Martinez finished and disappeared into the sunset. And of course, let's wrap up that Brazil group. They lost. No team ends the group stage with a 100% record. They rested, much like their friends France and also, you know, Portugal, and they paid the price. You cannot rest, you cannot rotate. They can, because of course they already qualified, but you cannot rest and rotate and think you're still going to win. Cameroon getting the late winner, and obviously Serbia and Switzerland was an absolute ball, an absolute wild festivities of nature. It was a wild game, and mad. Switzerland progressed, you know what I'm saying? They get the job done. Another player I'm disappointed in is Vlahovic at Serbia. Serbia 1 point. I thought they would go through. I looked at their team, Tadic and all these guys. I put the names together and I thought this would be a decent outfit from... No. Poor. Disappointing again. But Switzerland progressed, and they obviously knocked out France in the Euro 2020, so fair play to them. They progress into the next stage. But Serbia, again, massive disappointment. Uruguay, massive disappointment. Individuals like Jonathan David, massive disappointment. But shout out to Kudus at Ghana, and of course Musiala, like I said earlier. These wonder boys, these star boys, they did well for their countries, although they exited early. Big up to South Korea, big up to Saudi Arabia, even though, you know, they didn't qualify. On the pitch, they performed, they just couldn't finish their chances. They played well. You know, Australia shocked me, couldn't believe it that they qualified as well. Big up to them. Japan, top in the group, team of the tournament so far for me. But big disappointment from Belgium. Big L. Not good. Make sure that you smash up the likes like I told you last time, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.